do you remember Shannon's attorney telling you you never were confronted in 2017 about things you said differently than what you did in 2015? Do you remember that?
I think he said something like that.
And do you remember agreeing with him? Yeah, nobody ever confronted me about things I said different.
I think he said the officer or somebody was in there. I don't know.
I'm sorry, what now?
He asked me why the officer or somebody didn't confront me or something. I don't know. He said something like that.
Was Mr. Richardson your lawyer or your friend in that interview?
No, he was not my lawyer.
He was there on your behalf?
I don't know how he got there.
Okay.
But it later came out that he wasn't my lawyer though.
Isn't it true that you all were allowed to take breaks and that after at least one of those breaks, Detective Dennis came back and told you that reminded you that you had said a lot more about the murder than in 2015 than you were doing now in 2017?
I don't know.
Isn't it true that after that point, Detective Dennis asked you about what you had told him in 2015 about Duop and Nard?
I don't know.
Isn't it true that at that point you said you had heard that they were involved, that is, Duop and Nard were involved? You had heard that from Copeland, and then you said, I meant Shannon. Isn't that true?
I don't remember.
Okay. Isn't it true that after you told them that Shannon came to the apartment after the murder and told you about the murder, they pressed you on exactly what Shannon said to you?
You say, is it true that he told me? You asked me, I don't understand that question.
Isn't it true that during the 2017 interview, when you told the police and people with the DA's office, with Mr. Richardson present, that Shannon came to the apartment after the murder and told you something about the murder, you were asked what exactly Shannon said to you, and you said, I don't want to talk about it?
It was a lie.
Okay.
I don't know. I still don't understand the question.
You were pressed on what exactly Shannon told you in the 2017 interview.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay. Isn't it true that when you said you were not pressed or you were not confronted with differences in your story, that what you said about not being confronted wasn't exactly accurate? In other words, when you said something different, the police did ask you, wait a minute, what about this? You said it differently over here.
I don't remember. You would have had to show me for me to know. I don't remember.
Okay.
But I don't think they confronted me. Ricky had asked y'all 2 years ago, did y'all have a video he can see? Y'all told him no. Y'all told me it wasn't no interview, just transcripts.
Okay. And during that 2017 interview, when you were looking at pictures of Shannon and Duop and Nard, isn't it true that you signed your name and wrote Shannon's and Nard's and Duop's on their pictures?
I don't remember, probably did.
When you were asked about the Lil Wayne bus shooting on cross-examination, is it your testimony today that you remember events that happened that night?
I don't know. Like, y'all been asking me all these questions. Like, I don't know.
Do you remember telling detectives in the 2017 interview that people didn't need to get the gang's permission in order to carry out the Lil Wayne bus shooting?
I don't remember it being said like that or something. I don't know.
Do you remember being asked on cross-examination about the Infinity that you were in, that you rode inside with Copeland?
I remember y'all saying something about it. I remember somebody said something about it.
Do you remember, I believe it was Mr. Steele, if it was not, correct me if your memory is different. Do you remember Thug's lawyer asking you whether the information you got about that Infinity came only from Copeland?
Yes.
Do you remember today whether the information you got about that Infinity came only from Copeland?
Yes, I told Woody. So I never saw somebody else in the car, but Woody, he told me about the car.
Is there anything in particular about that that causes you to remember it as opposed to others?
I remember the car because I remember we wrecked the car.
And was it Woody who told you that Thug's manager rented it?
Yes. I don't know. I don't remember. I didn't know. Woody said he thought it was Thug rental car or something. I don't remember. I told him I know something in that car though. I told him I know something. Nobody in the car but Woody.
You told the jury earlier that after a certain point that Thug stopped associating with Woody. You said something like that on Cross. Do you remember that?
I think I said you stopped coming around all the negativity. Like it was so much going on. I think I said that.
Do you remember specifically talking about Woody and Thug not hanging around Woody?
Yes, because I said he had a lot going on.
Do you remember when that was that you remember Thug stopped hanging around Woody?
I don't know.
Okay, generally speaking, would you say it was around May 2015?
I think Woody was already locked up, man. I don't know.
So does that mean it probably happened before that or after that?
I don't remember. I just know I think Woody had got locked up summertime, so I don't remember.
Do you know whether Woody actually talked to Thug about getting his bond paid in June 2015?
June, I was locked up, so I don't know.
Okay, you were asked about Thug and Woody's relationship. I'm just asking you if you know anything about.
June, I was locked up. So
okay, so that's a no?
I was locked up, I mean.
When you're locked up, does that keep you from getting information about other people that are locked up?
Yes.
So were you locked up federally?
No.
Were you locked up in Fulton County?
Yes.
So if you were locked up in Fulton County and Woody is locked up in Fulton County, do you all have the ability to talk to each other or do you not have access?
I was on a different floor.
Okay. Does being on a different floor keep you from having access to other people or talking to other people in the jail?
Yes.
Okay. Just one moment. do you not remember getting, speaking with Sledge from inside the jail or Moontoon? Why?
Me and Mook, I don't think if I talked to him and he was on the street, I don't even think I talked to him. What time you talking about?
While you were in the jail and he was in the jail.
Probably went to court, yeah.
Okay. And what about Garlington? You remember getting communication from Garlington while you all were both in jail?
He and Garlington and Sledge was on the case together. We go to court together.
Okay. Are they the only people that you talked to while you were in the jail that were in the jail with you?
I don't remember. Probably people in my dorm, I don't remember.
All right. What did you say?
People in the dorm, probably.
Okay. You were asked on cross-examination about a picture of Shannon taken the days or taken sometime before January 10th, 2015. Do you remember Mr. Steele asking you about it?
Sustained.
Okay. Do you remember being shown a photograph of Shannon standing in front of a window?
Yeah, I remember that picture. I remember that picture.
And do you have any independent knowledge of when or if that was placed on any social media sites?
I think I remember. I think I took that picture. I was thinking about it.
Just the picture, though.
When I saw it, I remember the picture for some.
Did you post that on your social media site?
No.
Okay. Now, when you were asked on cross-examination about Antonio Sledge being drunk and Garlington being high and you being high on April 28th, 2015, were you telling the jury everything that you remembered about that night when you spoke with Shannon's attorney on cross-examination?
Did I what?
Is that all that you remember about that night on April 28th as you sit here today? April 28th, 2015, that Moontoon was drunk.
Your Honor, I was gonna let it go, but I'm gonna object to the misstatement of the testimony. His testimony was not that Mr.
Sustained.
Do you remember anything else about the night of April 28th that Mr. Schardt asked you about on cross-examination regarding Sledge being drunk?
I think I told him I don't know. I don't remember. I think I told him I was high myself, so I couldn't really tell.
And what does that type of high do to your ability to remember?
Xanax.
Okay. What does that do for you and for your ability to remember?
A lot. I might be on 3-4 at a time.
And does that cause you to forget things?
Yes.
Okay. So if you remembered that it was only you, Sledge, and Garlington, at what point did the high wear off to allow you to remember that?
Because I remember who I got in the car with.
Okay. Do you know what Trontavia Stevens was doing during that time?
No.
Okay. You were asked whether you went to Arrowhead Pond with Copeland and Sledge. Do you remember that?
I remember telling him I didn't remember if Sledge was with us.
Okay. Do you remember testifying on cross-examination that you wanted to convince Gaither and Dennis that you were telling the truth so that you could get out of jail?
I remember. I don't remember. I don't remember. I told her, ask me all these questions. I don't remember.
Do you remember when you were shown a clip of Gaither coming into the room saying, y'all been calling me and now I'm here? You remember that? Okay. Now, do you remember being asked whether you wanted to meet with Gaither so that you could get out of jail?
I remember me saying I ain't called them. I remember saying that.
Okay. Do you remember saying you wanted to clear Sledge of the shooting?
I thought that was what I was doing, but I was told you I was young.
Right. Did you lie when you told the police that the phone number they showed you was not yours?
I don't remember.
You remember when you were asked on cross-examination whether you lied when you said you weren't involved in the April 28th shooting?
Who?
You remember when you said on cross that when you first sat down, you said, I wasn't involved. I ain't have nothing to do with that shooting.
I remember saying I lied. I don't understand what you're saying. You gotta ask it again.
Okay. You remember saying you lied in the August 5th, 2015 interview. Is that right?
Yes.
Did you lie when you told them or confirmed for them Demikion's phone number?
Your Honor, outside the scope of cross.
Sustained.
Did you lie when you told them that the phone number they had was not yours?
Outside the scope of cross.
Sustained.
Do you remember when you told them when you first sat down, you were making stuff up as you were going on? You remember saying that on cross?
Yeah.
At what point did that change, if at all?
What you mean, did it change?
Well, you said at first I was making stuff up as I was going on.
I still was making stuff up.
Okay, so are you saying that you made stuff up throughout the whole interview on August 5th, 2015?
Made stuff up and said stuff that I had already heard. I told y'all that.
Okay. And when you said that you wanted to take the guns out of your hand and put them in someone else's hand, is that what you were trying to do throughout the August 5th interview? Just take guns out of your hand? By the time that you got to the 2017 interview, was your goal in that interview the same thing as your goal was in the 2015 interview?
What was my goal? Was it my goal?
Right.
I don't remember.
Do you remember whether you went into the 2017 interview with the intent to tell stories on people?
I don't remember.
Well, do you
Did
remember?
I tell stories?
Uh-huh.
I told stories, yes. Lies.
All right. And was there any reason that you told for these particular lies that you claim you told? For what reason were you telling lies in 2017?
Because I had already told the lies before.
Okay. And so the lies you told in 2017 were because you had already told them? Is that what you're saying?
Objection, that's asked and answered.
You're not asking. Is that what you're saying?
What you mean? Like,
Why did you tell the lies you're now saying that you told in 2017?
but I lied. I don't know. I didn't know I lied. I don't get what you're saying. Like, I don't understand.
And the lies in 2015 that you told, did you tell them for any reason other than what you've already given to the jury?
What you mean?
The things that you said in the August 2015 interview that were not true. The reasons that you told them, even though they were not true. Are those reasons, have you told all of those reasons for telling those lies as you put them to the jury?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Just 1 second. I think that that's all I have at this time with this